Yes. Okay. So yes, we are completely changing gears. We've been talking about equations and solving for x for, I don't know, the last month and a half. We are no longer doing that. We are now starting something brand new. Based off of the two papers that you've picked up on the blue counter, you'll see that we have graphs now with points. So we're going to get into that now. Okay. So for those of you who are online, here's a PDF where if you open it, you can follow along with us and split screen if you want to, and you can open it through Cami. So what you can do is download it, and then after you download it, there should be like a open through Cami sort of thing on your computer. Let's see, it should be on the side.
Or you can just go to the Cami icon up there in the toolbar.
Oh, or Mr. Tucker said you can just go to this Cami icon.
You might have to then upload it or something.
And then upload it. So open from maybe computer or something like that.
Upload it to your computer, so then you open from computer.
Yeah. Or if you don't if you have a Chromebook, so you don't have a hard drive, you can always download it to your Google Drive and then open it through Google Drive. That works too, okay? But this is what we're talking about today in class. We're going to practice doing that. Then once synchronous time is over, then we are all going to be going into Edgenuity for one last hurrah. It's the last thing we're going to do, and then you're going to take the quiz, and then we're done. It's 10 questions, multiple choice. That's it. It's just about plotting points. So I'm hoping that it shouldn't be too difficult for us, okay? So you guys have two papers in front of you, and they look almost exactly the same. What you need to do is you need to look for the paper that says Math 8 on top, okay? So there's only one paper that says Math 8 on top. We're doing that paper first. That's the first page. Oh, here you go. Okay, so these are our notes. We are going to continue to have notes every day because we're not using Edgenuity. So let's go ahead and just make sure we're following along and writing everything that I'm writing down. These papers will go into your math only folder or your math only binder. If you need a binder or a folder, let me know and I can give you one, okay? So let's start from the basics again. This is all stuff you should know but probably have forgotten because we haven't done it yet this year, okay? We have something called a coordinate plane. This graph is called a coordinate plane. Do you see how there are 4 quadrants? A quad is like a section. There's 4 sections. There's this one, this one, this one, and this one. And they each have a specific number. Does anyone remember like which one's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4? Because there's a specific order. Brooke? Close. This is not number 1. Jema? Yeah, so this is number 1. So all of you on your paper, please write number 1. This is quadrant number 1. So whenever I say quadrant 1, you should be looking in this area. And then we go in a counterclockwise rotation. So this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So those are your numbers, quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. So from now on, when I say quadrant 3, you got to look over here. If I say quadrant 2, you got to look over here. Okay? Now, these quadrants allow us to plot points. When I have a point, my point is always some number, comma, some number. And the numbers are correlated like this. The first point is always you can't see that. My first point is always my x. And my second point is always the y. Okay, so you're writing this down right now, or you're taking notes on Cami with us, split screen, however you need to, online kids. And then the last thing you need to know is where's the x and the y axis. Sometimes you get lucky enough and your coordinate plane labels the x and the y, but I want to tell you right now, the x-axis is this one. This is the x-axis. It's always the horizontal one, okay? Horizontal is a line going from left to right. That's the x-axis. And then the y-axis, it's labeled here, but just in case you get a coordinate plane that's not labeled, this one is the y-axis, okay? The y-axis is the one that goes up and down. So those are just the basics that you need to know before we even plot a point. You have your x-axis, your y-axis. Whenever I have a point, it's always the x number and then the y number. and then quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, when you're taking your Edgenuity quizzes or whatever, you can always look at these notes to look back on just to help you, okay? Okay, so let's practice, okay? Let's practice plotting points. So whenever I plot a point, I have two numbers, and how I think about it is I have the X number and then the Y number, right? It's like the first one and the second one. It always goes X comma Y. So when I have 0 comma 3, I go to the X axis, I go to 0, which is in the center, and then I go to 3, which is on the Y axis. So Y is right here, so 3 is right here. So it's 0, right, left 0, up, down 3, here 0 comma 3. That's my first point. Yes.
You know the beginning 0, 0, isn't there another name for that too?
I don't know. Is there a name for 0, 0? Sydney? Yeah, it is. It's called the origin. Okay, so 0, 0, this very center here is called the origin, or it's called 0, 0. Good job. All right, let's try another one. So I have -2 comma 4. So for this one, my X is -2. So you always start from the center, the origin. You go -2, so you go right, left, and then you go up, down. So -2 is to the left, and then you go up, down 4. So 4 is right here. So that's -2 comma 4. That's that point. Does this kind of ring a bell? Hopefully. Okay, 5 comma 1. So start from the center. You always go right, left first. So +5, so to the right 5. And then the next number is up, down 1, +1. So you go up. So 5 comma 1 is right there. Okay, next one, you try this, -4, -3. Start from the center. You go right, left, and then you go up, down. You should have put a dot right here, hopefully. So look at the board, make sure that yours matches up with mine. So I start from the center, I go left, -4, down to the -3, and then that's my dot. Okay, let's try two more. 3 comma -2, try that by yourself. So start from the center, 0, 0. Right, left 3, up, down -2. Your dot should have been right here. So start from the center, right, left 3, up, down -2. So that's where my 3, -2 is. Okay, last one, -3, -1. Try that one. -3, -1 is right here. So I go, start from the center, right, left, -3, up, down, -1, which is right there. So the biggest thing you have to remember is your first number is always the right, left, and then your second number is always your up, down. And that's how you find your place. Okay, now let's go backwards. I have a point. Let's figure out what point it is, something comma something. So my answer is always in parentheses, and there's always a comma between them. So I'm just going to set it up. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, the first one they want me to know is letter J. Letter J. Where's J? J, 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 J. There it is. All right. So start from the center. You always go right and left first. So how many did you do that? And then you go up and down. So does anyone think they know? Can you raise your hand, please? Letter J is what, comma, what? Aaron? -4, comma, +1. Perfection. Good job. Start from the center. He went to the left up to -4, and then he went up to the positive 1, so it's -4 comma positive 1. Great job. Ooh, K is right there. That one's hard. Everyone always reverses the numbers. Like, I feel like you know the two numbers, but everyone always reverses them. So you go right, left first, and then up, down. Savannah, what do you think?
0, -2.
Yes, 0 comma -2. Right, you start here. You go right, left, 0. You didn't move because you're still in the center, but then you went up, down, -2. So 0 comma -2. All right, L is right here. Anyone think they know that one? Taylor?
-3.
Yeah, -3 comma -3. So you start from the center. You went -3 to the left and then up, down to the -3. Okay, M, someone online, I haven't forgotten about you. Either shout it out or type it. Someone online, what do you think?
Oh, Jose says 5, 2.
Good job. So start here. You go right 5, right, left 5. So that's your first number because it's always the right, left, and then up, down to the positive 2. Good. All right, letter N. Aaron, what do you think?
3, -4.
Yes, 3 comma -4. So you started from the 0. You went to the right 3, and then you went down -4. So 3 comma -4. Okay, last one. Someone online. Someone that's not Jose, because Jose already answered. Someone else other than Jose. What do we think for this one? Shout it out or type it in. Maya, good job. 4 comma 0. So everyone always says this one is 0 comma 4, but they always flip it. You went to the right 4 and then you went up, down 0. So it's 4 comma 0. Okay, put this paper off to the side. Now let's go to the other paper that should say October 6th, but obviously today is not October 6th. We're just kind of squishing it all together. And then for you online kids, this is just the second page on that file. Okay, let's practice this again. Don't look at the front side. Let's see how good your memory is. Number your quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't peek, no peeker McPetersons. Try to figure out where are your quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you do need to know this for the quiz on Ingenuity today. Okay, someone that has not spoken yet. Does anyone remember? Where's 1? Parker, go. Where's 1? Yes. Parker, where's 2? Yeah. And then you have 3, 4. This is something you have to memorize, guys. It's not I don't understand it. It's you have to memorize it. It's a rule sort of thing. Okay. All right. Next thing, no peeking, no peeking. When you have a point, you have Y's and X's, but there's a specific order. Someone else who has not spoken yet. Does anyone remember? What's the order of the letters? Sophia?
X, Y.
Yes, X comma Y. Basically, it's telling you do the number on the X axis first and do the number on the Y axis second. So really, this is what I always say, like this is the right, left, and then this one is the up, down, the number that goes up and down. Okay, well, if I have an X axis and a Y axis, I don't know where they are. So this is another thing you just have to memorize. It's not I don't understand it. Where is the X axis? Where do we think? X axis. Is it the vertical or is it the horizontal one? I guess that's my question. Jema? Yes, horizontal means it goes from left to right. So this is the X axis, which means the Y axis is the vertical one. And that's this one right here. That's the Y axis. Okay. There's 3 questions on your quiz that you might be kind of confused with. Maybe, maybe not. But I feel like maybe we should go over it. Okay. Everything else is pretty straightforward. But these 3, maybe you would be confused. This says points E and D have opposite X coordinates, right? Like, do you see how the X coordinates here? Point D is at the 5, point E is at the -5. but they have the same y coordinate. How many units away are each of the points from the y-axis? So units is like how many squares? How many squares is E away from the y-axis? How many squares is D away from the y-axis? Well, first thing you have to do is figure out where is the y-axis. And look, it's not labeled here. So this is something you have to understand. Oh, the y is the vertical one. That's the y-axis. So does someone think they can count how many squares is E or D, because they're the same, away? Aaron? Not from each other, but from just this center point, the y-axis.
Isn't it like both of them added up?
No, because it says how many units away are each of the points from this. So like how many is from E to this and how many is from D to that. And they should be the same number. So you don't add them. You just tell me what number it is. Yeah. So because they're the same number, right? So D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. And then I don't even have to count this one because they say that they have the same x coordinates. So my answer is 5. Okay, so the hardest thing about this is you just have to read what are they asking you to do. Okay, next one. The point -2, -3 is reflected across the x-axis. I have no idea what they're talking about. Maybe you should graph it. Maybe you should plot it, okay? -2, -3. Okay, so I got to put a dot somewhere. So start from 0, 0. Right, left to the -2. Up, down to -3. Okay, so this point is reflected. That means flipped across the x-axis. X-axis, oh, that's this one. So this point is flipped across this pink line. So it's like symmetrical. Does anyone think they know where or what the new coordinates are? Taylor? Yes, very good. Taylor, that's something that we're going to learn in like 10 chapters, and you just did it. So seriously, good job, girl. Okay, this is what you have to think. I want to flip this across this pink line. I want a mirror image. So my mirror image has to be what? Like, let's see how many lines it is. 1, 2, it's 3 away. So it has to be even because it's a mirror image. So 1, 2, 3 away would be right here. This green dot is perfectly flipped across this because it's the same number of spaces away. So, well, what is that? -2, +3. And that's how we got that answer. Okay. Last one. Which points are reflections of each other across the y-axis? Okay, so here's the y-axis. I want to know which two are perfect flips of each other, like perfect mirror images. Well, I don't know unless I draw it. So let's do this one first. So I have -7, -3, and then +7, -3. Does this look like a flip of this? Do they look like, yeah? No? Yeah. Okay, so that one. So maybe let's see why the other ones don't make sense. Or maybe they do. Maybe all of them are answered. Maybe this one says like select all that apply or whatever. Okay, -5, +4 is right here. +5, -4. Oof, yeah, that purple one they're not flips across the pink line, right? It would have to be like up here for it to be a perfect mirror image. It's like I'm folding the paper so that the dots would have to be on top of each other. So no, definitely not that one. Okay, let's do this one. 1, -8, which is right here, and then 1, 8, which is here. Oh, yeah, so these look like flips across the x-axis, but not the y-axis. It said flip it across the pink line, so that doesn't work. And then finally, let's do this one, -3, +5, and then 5, -3. Yeah, that doesn't even make sense, right? Across the pink line should be like up here, but it's not. So that doesn't work either. Okay, that's what you're doing today. So at this time, you can put these papers in your math folder, or you can keep them out and refer to them if you want to. So all of you are going to be doing the Edgenuity quiz right now, the plotting points quiz, 10 questions, multiple choice, okay? If you want to go with Mr. Tucker, you can. If you want to stay here, you can. You are at T-4 days, so you have to get caught up, please. I know some of you still need to get caught up. And once you do them, let me know so I can update the grade book immediately, all right? So do what you need to do. Bye, everyone online.